What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another summer series. I haven't filmed a summer series around my pool in a minute, but I wanted to come to you guys because it is almost a year down for me being in the state of California. So I wanted to come by the pool and talk to you guys about my job, how exactly I got to California, and what is it that I really do in the lab. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I've been getting questions about how I got into the field of histology. The first thing is, you guys don't know, I'm Shanika. What's up? I am a travel histologist here in California. I have been a histologist for 4 years, going on 4 years. September the 11th is my 4-year anniversary as a Histotech, and I worked in 2 offices. One just a regular histology lab, my first job. Second job was a derm lab, which I did all derm, Mohs, and frozen sections. And now I'm in another histology lab here in California. So this job now, I am a current travel histologist. So first, let's go ahead and define histology. What exactly is histology? When you guys hear the word histology, some of you guys ask me, does that mean history, or does that mean I'm a teacher, or what is histology? Histology, just for definition purposes, and then I'll give you layman's term. So histology, let's define histology. Histology is the study of microscopic structures of tissues. What is histology used for? It's used to diagnose diseases in humans, animals, and plants. Histology is used during autopsies and forensic science investigations to help understand unexplained deaths. And what is a histotech? A histotech is a member of a laboratory team who employ histological technology to diagnose disease, conduct research. Alright, so come here. Let's go. Alright, so the main thing is, how long does it take to become a histologist? And that normally determines on your schooling already. For me, I was already in community college, and all I did was just transfer my credits from community college to the school that offered histology. And that degree or program took like a year. So you can go to an accredited school, and it will take a year if you have like all the sciences such as chemistry, histology, immunology, biochemistry, and medical ethics, and all of your biologies. And you get an associate's degree, and also you will train at a facility approved, and then you will sit for your boards, and you will be ASCP certified, which is American Society of Clinical Pathology. So just like for any other medical career that you do, say a nurse or doctor, nurse practitioner, dermatologist, any field that you made, a lawyer, anything that has to sit for a board, that's exactly what we had to do. We had to sit for a board exam test, which consisted of 100 questions and I think 2.5 hours to actually you get to take the test. So, and that test ranges around 200 and I think like $50. I'm not really sure, but I think it's around $250. Now let's talk about salary and pay. It's kind of hard because when it comes to salary and pay, I feel like that is something that goes along with any occupation that you do. You really can't compare someone's salary and pay to yours, especially with experience, or especially with the company that they work for, or you are a traveler, or if you're not a traveler, or if it's your first year in histology. You may start out at $19 an hour, but that's only in the state of Florida. I don't know any other state where you start out, the starting pay range for histologists, but normally for histotechs, starting out is maybe average $20, and that's the minimum. I'm not saying you can't start out with more, because plenty of people have started out with more. And once again, the pay is different for different states. And based upon the company, if you're starting out with a smaller company, that smaller company may only pay you $22 an hour. If you're starting out with or if you're in a higher state, just say that state may start you out with $40 an hour. So it just depends on where you're at. Always remember that it just depends on the cost of living where you at, how big is the facility, how much experience you have. All those things play a factor, and you cannot compare your pay with someone else's pay. So I looked this information up, and the information is the average salary for histotechs in the US ranges. Minimum is $29.18 an hour. Once again, that's on the internet. That doesn't mean that's what you'll be making. That doesn't mean that's where you're going to stay. Know several people who made $28 and they just became a tech. So once again, every situation is different. It depends on what you get offered and what you negotiate and things of that nature, just like any other job. Okay, now as far as the annual salary, I looked this up too. It's a wide range. They typically start at $41,000 and range up to $85,000. Now, that can either be $85,000 if you're a lead histotech, or that can be $85,000 if you just say if you work in a state where the cost of living is high, like California, or New York, or California, New York. But yeah, so that is the range between 41 and 85. And once again, do not allow anyone, don't compare your salary. At least know what you're worth, yes, but if you just got in the game and you are making, just say 24, or just say you're making not 24, but just say you're making like 40 something thousand, or maybe 42,000, that is totally fine, especially if you are in a state that is not a high cost of living. You should be able to survive off of that, but you cannot compare. Like, just say here, for instance, like I posted on my Instagram earlier, I'm working with people who have been techs who's about to retire, and they're making well over $50 to $60 an hour. But look what state I'm in, and also look how many years they got in the company, and pension and all those great things. And look, as far as like, even with that amount, you still are poor. Don't let $60 an hour fool you, unless you're making 60 and then your spouse is making, just say 60 as well. Because in the state of California or in New York, they can say, oh, that's all you make, you only make $30 an hour, you only make $45 an hour. Well, guess what, we're all still poor. You're making all this money, but at the end of the day, the taxes are hella high, the cost of living is hella high, and you both would need to make over $100,000 just to survive in this state. So do not get in the habit of comparing what you make with whoever and just focus on you and make the most that you can and grow as a tech. That's what's truly important. Okay, so last but not least, let's talk about the pros and the cons of becoming a histotech. The pros definitely are, let's talk about the cons first. I always like to get the bad shit out the way, or the shit that's not so glamorous. The cons would be, let's talk about travel histotech, because there's a lot of great pros in becoming a histotech. I trained several people have asked me about becoming a histotech. All great things, especially when you never saw a future in histology, and just say you already work in the lab and you see that you're behind the scenes and you can still make a difference. And the cool part is, like, we're like this private little club where no one knows exactly what we do and who we are, and they think that the doctors have all the answers, but we truly got all the answers, because we're the ones who got your biopsy and we're the ones who making the diagnosis. So I think that's really truly cool. But at the end of the day, there's a lot of pros. But as far as a travel histologist, the cons would be, if you're not really up to going to different states and you don't want to be in snow, you don't want to be in humid heat, or you don't want to be in a boring ass state somewhere in the Midwest, and that's all they have contracts for. The pay, sometimes when you go to a different state, the pay may not be as great as, say, the pay in the state of California, the state of Florida, or the state of New York. Once again, that's where not comparing your pay comes into place. Also not knowing, I'll say not knowing where you're going. Not knowing where you're going, that's always anxiety. That's the anxiety part of, you know, you're finishing out your contract and you are trying to get your next contract, and people think that, oh my gosh, don't they just send you somewhere? But no, you still have to work hard and get your interview and things of that nature. So there'll be another video that I'll go into. So let's go ahead and talk about the pros. The same idea, but like I said, I'll make another video as far as a travel histotech and what's the details in being a travel histotech. But the pros in being a travel histotech would be free housing, just like a nurse, just like if you look up travel healthcare, occupational therapy, sonography, nurses, histotechs, laboratory scientists, any type of, most of the medical field, they have a lot of travel opportunities and housing is included. So that's like the flipping key. Now, another misconception is that housing is included, so I must not have no bills. That's a lie. No, bro, I got bills still, but I don't have a housing bill, so that is a blessing. So I use that to make sure I build credit, do whatever you need to do with it. Another video coming soon about that. But the benefit and the pro is free housing, your pay, travel different cities, different states, get to see different cities and states that you don't have to pretty much pay for. You, if that's your next assignment and you've always wanted to visit that place, or you just want to take a chance on a different place and a different scenery, and you're open like that, that's the bonus. Just like being a flight attendant, but you're a histotech. And also the great important thing is that you get to meet new people. So I'm going to go ahead and end that here, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope I answered your questions about becoming a histotech and exactly what I do. And if you have any other questions, feel free to hit me up in my DM. You guys know I love to answer your questions. And yeah, so I'll make another video in more detail, but I hope you guys have a wonderful week, and don't forget that the week is yours. Bye, y'all.